Yo, what's up? It's your boy from Celeb News. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and jump into the comments. Let's run the comment section up. It helps Mama with the algorithm, you feel me? Now let's get into it, because things are heating up with Holmes. So Holmes said something real suspicious. Asterisk, it hasn't happened here just yet. I haven't planned it yet. I haven't picked a place yet. Asterisk, what does that even mean? He followed it up with, asterisk, I promise you it's going to happen. Y'all need to be prepared. Asterisk, that's got people thinking, what is Holmes really planning? Is he talking about snatching someone? Starting something major? It sounds like he's dropping warnings. He hasn't done it yet, but he's making it clear something is coming. The man basically said it outright. Let's not forget what sparked all this. Holmes recently lost his lady, Tiffany, the so-called boss of all bosses. And now, to keep getting his check, he's got to keep showing up to work. But the energy's different. He's quiet now, real quiet. And he's all alone. This was all before we found out about the situation in Vegas. Yeah, the whole Fenia Dukes drama. That added fuel to the fire. Holmes likes to see himself as a crime fighter, someone who exposes wrongdoing. He loves talking about justice and doing what's right. Remember when he told on his own brother? His own brother, y'all. He turned him in for being a porch pirate, stealing boxes off people's porches. And Holmes made sure everybody knew about it. Talked about how he's so committed to justice he'd even report family. He was like, asterisk, what you stealing boxes for? Trying to build a clubhouse? Asterisk, shout out to Friday if you caught that. But now it's ironic, because the same guy preaching safety, calling the cops, making reports, he's out here making threats and moving shady. It's wild how fast the tables turn. So now he's exposed, standing all alone, but still has to ride this out for 2 more years until re-election time. What must it look like inside Holmes' head right now? We can only imagine. That's all for now. Get in those comments and let me know what y'all think. What's Holmes really planning? Is this just talk, or is something coming?
Also to the residents, I want to say thank you so much for calling in with the information about all type of violence. You have called the 1-800 number. You have gave that information up. You have remained anonymous. I have gave and forward that information to the chief.
It's like he's out here telling on people, like, asterisk, y'all called and told on your own homeboys. Asterisk, you ratted them out, but did it anonymously. The thing is, once we arrest them, they'll probably figure out it was you based on what was said. Just saying. Then he's out here like, asterisk, I want to thank all you anonymous folks who called 911. Asterisk, okay, but what's the point of that statement? You can't even prove it happened because it was anonymous. So, cool, it's just weird energy. Like, are we thanking people for calling 911 just because, or were they actually calling for a reason? Hopefully, they weren't just calling to say hi. Do people over there not like calling 911 unless it's serious? Because the whole thing sounds off.
A lot of this information is being helpful as they move forward with these cases. But one thing I want you to do, always call 911 first. And if you want to call that 1-800 number, call it after you call 911 and give them their information. And then you can contact us and give us that information. We will forward that information to the chief. And thank you all for using that 1-800 number. And thank you all for calling 911.
Holmes, that doesn't make any sense. I just want to say that up front. You're telling people to call this number you gave them, but only after they call 911? So first, I'm supposed to call 911, tell them everything that happened. Then, while I'm still dealing with them, I'm supposed to randomly call you? For what? Just so you can pass the information to the chief? Shouldn't the information I give to 911 already make its way to the chief? I mean, this is a small town. Is the chief completely disconnected from his own department? Does he not get updates? No reports? Why do I need to call 911, then call you, and then rely on you to tell the chief what I just told dispatch? That's literally what you said, and honestly, it sounds ridiculous. Holmes just be talking sometimes. Just to talk. And it's that old-timey sepia tone type of talking, like something from a grainy black and white film. He'll say things like, back in my day, we used to report crime the second it happened. Like, bro, what? It's not about your age. It's just the way he talks, like he's stuck in a specific time period, like he's giving a speech at a town hall in 1952. That kind of voice. It's dramatic, out of place, and low-key confusing. Like, who are you talking to? And this message is especially for the country folks out there, because I know y'all hear this and feel the same way. It's like once you reach a certain age, you flip into this wise old storyteller mode. And we're just supposed to sit there nodding like it all makes sense. Well, it doesn't. Not even a little.
A few cases that we have had out here in Dalton.
Okay.
And as usual, during the detective's investigation, they do find out that some of these individuals, as usual, don't stay here. Some of them bring the drama here. Some of them have residents that live here. But at the same time, we have to deal with this, and we have to make sure it is safe out here.
Okay.
You do have the officers patrolling the streets. You do have the community that has been calling in with anything that they see. But at the same time, some of these individuals, even some residents, are involved in criminal activity.
We had a few cases out here in Dalton recently. And as usual, when detectives start digging into the investigations, they uncover something familiar. Some of these individuals causing trouble don't even live here. Some of them bring the drama in from outside. Some have family or friends who stay here. So they come around and act like it's their territory. Meanwhile, the rest of us are left to deal with the mess. Try and make sure our community stays safe. Yes, we got officers patrolling the streets. Yes, we've got members of the community calling in what they see and trying to be vigilant. And that's appreciated. But let's be honest. Some of these individuals, some of them are residents. Some of y'all live right here and are still out here doing illegal stuff. Not us. Not the regular folks trying to keep the peace. Asterisk y'all star. Some of y'all out here acting like you don't know any better. And let's be real for a second. You should know better. Like when somebody passes out near you, and instead of helping, you take advantage of the situation. And then this the kicker. You go brag about it to your police buddy? Nah, that's disgusting. Some of y'all need to stop playing this game like you're not part of the problem. It's always the one making the most noise about crime that turns out to be the criminal. It's just like politicians who get loud about the gays and all that nonsense. Then a couple months later, boom, they're caught doing the exact thing they were condemning. Down low, that's the term. They be out here trying to fool everybody while living a double life. Same energy. That's Holmes. He props himself up as this anti-crime crusader, always talking about doing the right thing. Asterisk, oh, I would never do anything wrong. Asterisk, that's his whole vibe. But this is the same man, allegedly, who had a young girl fall asleep around him. Someone who trusted him. And instead of protecting her, he did something entirely different. Allegedly. Yet here he is, telling everybody to call 911, especially if they see him coming. Right, Holmes? That's what you meant? Like, are you telling us to report you now? Then he gets on this whole thing about protecting the valuable children and seniors in Dalton. What? You mean like high school seniors? What are young seniors? That phrase doesn't even make sense. The messaging is all over the place. People come in and try to talk about what's happening elsewhere. And Holmes is like, asterisk, we're not worried about that. We're focused on what's going on right here at home base. Asterisk, but if crime is everywhere and we're surrounded by it and we've got to protect our own, then shouldn't we be accurate about what's actually happening here? You can't just make stuff up to scare people. Holmes likes to repeat the same lines over and over. He tells us, if you pay taxes, you have the right to call in abandoned cars, people loitering, and yes, being observant and reporting actual suspicious behavior is valid. But the way he describes it, it's like he's encouraging people to play junior detective. I mean, seriously, he'll say, asterisk, look at the cars. Look inside. See who's sitting in them. Asterisk, so let me get this straight. If I see a car that looks abandoned, I'm supposed to walk up, put my face against the glass, and just stare in there? And if they roll the window down, what then do I ask them what they're doing? Should I lean in, pull out handcuffs, and make a citizen's arrest? Come on, man. What are you actually telling people to do? There was even a moment, real talk, where Brown looked at him like, asterisk, what the hell are you talking about? Asterisk, because the stuff he says doesn't even line up. He tells people to avoid danger, but also walk up to suspicious cars and inspect them. Which one is it? Avoid or approach? Then he talks about how crime hasn't happened here yet, but will. Like, what does that even mean? He literally said, asterisk, I haven't planned it yet. I haven't picked the place yet, but it's going to happen. Asterisk, that sounds like you're plotting something. So again, Holmes, when are you planning to do this thing? He sounded like someone warning people about Pennywise from it. Like, asterisk, watch out for the sewer drains. Pennywise might pop up and snatch your arm. It hasn't happened yet, but it could. Asterisk, that's how absurd it sounds. Meanwhile, the real warning should have been about that trip to Vegas with those weirdos. That night out, the drinks, that young woman falling asleep near you. That's the scenario people needed to be warned about. Maybe if she'd been warned, she wouldn't have ended up in that position. Isn't that something? Then Holmes tries to paint this picture of people getting their bags snatched outside stores. And yeah, that does happen. But where? Because the way he describes it sounds like he watched it in a movie. Asterisk, people go into store. Car rides by real slow, snatches the purse, and keeps it moving. Asterisk, you know where that kind of crime happens a lot? In countries where scooters are everywhere. In part of Africa, Southeast Asia, or Latin America, you got folks on scooters snatching phones and bags all day long. But here in Dalton, that's not some common, daily threat like he's making out to be. That's not how people here operate. It's like Holmes is blending urban legends with world news and dumping it all into our local crime update. He says, asterisk, be careful, because they'll snatch your bag and drag you without you even knowing it. Asterisk, wait, what? How do you not know you're being dragged? And then his solution is, look at the news. Okay, sure, but maybe you should also give people real local data. Because telling people to stay alert is good advice, but not when it's wrapped up in fantasy, misinformation, and self-righteousness. The way Holmes talks, it's like he's on an old radio show, talking in that sepia-tone voice like it's 1955. Back in my day, we knew how to call the police, like, bro, we get it. You're trying to sound official and wise, but it's not helping if you're just making stuff up, and it's wild because he positions himself as the moral center of everything. Yet here we are, talking about things he's allegedly done that contradict every single message he preaches. So look, we're not saying ignore crime. We're not saying don't be alert. But what we are saying is, don't fall for performative safety speeches from people who might be the ones you need to be warned about. Because often, the loudest voices, the ones condemning everybody else, are just trying to cover up their own dirt. Stay alert, but stay smart. Too, they do that in Mexico. You know, places where people ride around on scooters a lot. That's the kind of thing he's talking about. They snatch purses and phones, speed off, and keep it moving. That's not really something that happens here like that. That's a movie scene in America type of thing. Over there, though, constantly. Phones, bags, gone in seconds. And now they're talking about people getting dragged, like someone grabbed your purse and drags you and you don't even realize it's happening. That's what he wants us to believe? Come on now, explain that one. He's warning people to be on the lookout around places like Food 4 Less, Walgreens. You have to look at the cars that are moving slowly, because apparently one might roll up, snatch your bag, and drag you down the street. He made it sound like they'll yank your whole body into traffic just to get a purse. For what? A gift card and a couple of loose dollars? Then this man says basically, if I come by and grab that purse, just let it go. Otherwise, you're getting dragged and it's not going to be worth it. Excuse me? Did you just warn us about crimes you sound like you're planning to commit? Is Chief Collins hearing this? This man Andrew is out here laying out the blueprint for a whole snatch and grab operation. And you're just standing there nodding? It's a performance for me. Pretending to care, pretending to be on some, I'm just worried about the safety of the community tip. And then right after that, he turns the mic over to Chief Collins like he's doing a formal handoff. I'll let the chief tell y'all about the homicide numbers. Yeah, because asterisk you don't know. Asterisk you could have just said that. No. Instead you gave us a whole 20-minute speech about crime, pretending to know what you're talking about, and then admitted halfway through that you don't know anything. All that talk for what? Let's be honest here. Holmes is basically useless. The only reason he's even sitting in that seat is because he made himself locally famous for turning in his own brother. That's literally it. He used to do performative stuff, like sleeping outside with the homeless. But we all know how that goes. You lay down for 2 minutes. Someone takes a couple of stage photos and videos, and then you're back in your bed before midnight. Hopefully without bringing bedbugs back with you. Then he turned in his own brother, the so-called porch pirate. His brother was stealing packages, and Holmes turned him in, and now he uses that as a badge of honor. See how honest I am? I even turned in my own brother. Yeah, but you didn't turn in yourself when that whole situation happened with Finney IA. You never said a word about asterisk. That asterisk you didn't admit anything. Still haven't. So you were quick to tell on your brother, but when it came to your own dirt, suddenly you're silent. That doesn't make you noble. That makes you a rat. Let's be real. You were probably the kind of kid who was always snitching on your brother growing up. Probably always blaming him for stuff you did. If I could talk to your brother, I bet that's exactly what he'd say. Yeah, Holmes was always like that. Always the rat. Always the one pointing fingers. Now you're showing up to these community meetings with a whole different energy. You used to be the one calling out the trustees for being wrong, saying you couldn't stand by and let bad decisions happen. You made yourself out to be some kind of community watchdog. But now, suddenly, you're agreeing to everything, voting yes on everything. What happened? Did your opinions change? Or are you just going along to get along now? Trying to get close to Tiffany or something? I don't know what that's about, but it's giving how much asking one man kiss in 4 years vibes. Ask Holmes, he can tell you. And Tiffany? She definitely needs to watch her back around Holmes. He's a known snitch. Turned on his own brother for no money, no justice, just clout. And if he'd do that to his family, you already know he'd throw Tiffany under the bus just for a little more attention. Doesn't even seem like he wants much in life. Look at his shirt. He's not chasing status or wealth. He just wants a bit of clout. A little spotlight. That seems to make him happy. So if anyone's going to flip on her behind her back and not even warn her, it's Holmes. Holmes cannot be trusted. Period. That's all I'm saying. Y'all stay sharp. Watch yourselves. And as for me, I'm not getting involved. Nope, not me. Just know, my mama love you. Yes, she do. Peace if I could talk to your brother. I bet he'd tell me that you were always a rat. Always the one blaming him for things you did. Always pointing fingers. Playing the role of the snitch. If I asked him, I'm sure he'd say, yeah, Holmes was always like that. That's just the kind of person you are. And now, you show up to these meetings acting like you're all about justice. But you've switched up completely. You used to call out the trustees for their mistakes, saying you couldn't just sit by and let things go wrong. You made it seem like you had strong principles. But now you're voting yes to everything they say. Did your opinion change? Or are you just going along with the flow to get by? Maybe hoping to get some attention from Tiffany. Who knows? It feels like you'll do whatever it takes to get a little recognition. How much asking one person kiss in 4 years? Ask Andrew. He'll probably tell you the same. Now, let's talk about Tiffany. She needs to be aware that Holmes is a risk. We all know him for snitching. He turned in his own brother for clout, not for money or justice. Just for the attention, he told on his brother for porch pirating. If he'll do that to his own flesh and blood, there's no doubt he'd flip on Tiffany for a little bit more clout. It's not about much for him, honestly. Look at the guy. He doesn't seem like he wants a lot. Just a little recognition, a little clout, and he's happy. It's honestly that simple for him. If anyone's going to turn on Tiffany and hide it from her, it's Holmes. He can't be trusted, period. He's shown who he is. He'd do whatever it takes to get the attention he craves. And we know he's willing to throw people under the bus for it. His brother was just the start. So, Tiffany definitely needs to be cautious around him. I'm not going to get involved with all this drama, though. I've seen enough. You can't trust someone like Holmes, and that's something you should all take seriously. You can pretend all you want, but at the end of the day, it's clear where his loyalty lies. So, y'all stay alert, behave yourselves, and don't let people like Holmes get too close. Just know this. My mama loves you, and that's the real truth. Peace.